Namaste and good morning, everyone. As Baba Muktananda always said, it is with great respect and love, a heartfelt welcome to everyone. And for all of us here, it's a great honor to be here at Synchronicity and to share this time with all of you. Baba Muktananda created what was known as a meditation revolution. And in that time that he did that, he touched the lives of many, many people all around the globe. And so many people are on a path, on his path, practicing all of the ancient teachings and the wisdom and the knowledge that it bestows upon each one. Gurudev is a direct successor to Swami Muktananda, to Baba, and his time that he spent with him, you'll see as he shares, as he speaks, as you have time to spend in his presence, you'll see all that was shared and transmitted to him. So we're all very fortunate. Yesterday was wonderful to meet and greet and be with one another and to hear all of your sharings, and very, very moving, the affection, the love, and the depth of your relationship to Master Charles. Gurudev shares one as well, and I think over the next 2 days we'll hear about that, his relationship to Master Charles, and all about Baba's tradition and his legacy. So I think you'll all find it a very, very enriching experience through the stories, through the teachings, through the scriptures, and through all of the practices that we'll do here. We thought that it would be completely appropriate, as Master Charles loved music, so we have Kirtan on the agenda. We have the Sun Tour performance by Vinay. We also have, he loved Yagna and his love for the Devi, his love for the mother. So we'll have a Yagna this afternoon. So all that was dear to him, we hope to bring all of that to you together and for all of us to have this wonderful few days together. So without further ado, Gurudev will now speak to us. And the topic for this morning is Where Are You Going? Based on Baba Muktananda's book and all that he shared. Sadhgurunad Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome.
Muktanandaya Gurave Shishya Samsara Harini Bhakta Kavye Kadehaya Namaste Chitsadatmane Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Om Shanti 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 Sadhgurunad Maharaj Ki Jai. Just take a moment to allow ourselves to come into this space that we are in. Just following your own breath, inhalation, exhalation, just allowing yourself to become established here in this moment, in this space. Just connecting to your own being, to your own self. And as you sit, whether it's on the chair, whether it's on the floor, wherever it is that you sit, allowing yourself to actually become established, grounded, creating a foundation for the knowledge, for the wisdom, so that as we spend this time in this space, we allow all of that to actually go inside our being, and thus eventually take it with us into life, wherever it is that we go, so that knowledge, that wisdom does not remain separate, remain other, and just allowing yourself to open up, opening your arms, your palms, to receive a willingness actually on our part to that divinity in our own way, to say, I'm open, I'm ready, and bring those palms together in front of your own heart, offering salutations to oneself. Namaste. Just bow your head to your own heart. So we establish ourselves in that knowledge, in that wisdom. We open. We embrace the entire world and offer salutations to oneself and to everyone. Baba Muktananda always began his programs and concluded his programs with this statement: with great respect and love, welcome from the heart. He felt that this was the worship that each one of us needed to do, was to recognize that divinity, that truth, that God in oneself. Salutations also to Master Charles, because of whom we are all here in this space in Synchronicity. And as I pondered in my own mind, he met Baba Muktananda in the early 70s, served him as his personal secretary, and possibly performed many different jobs around Baba Muktananda. Then became a monk, Swami Vivekananda in the Saraswati order, in the first group of Westerners that Baba Muktananda initiated. Then sent out to teach, to share that which he had learned from the tradition of the Siddhas, Siddha Yoga. And then after Baba Muktananda left his body, we spent some 6 months together. He traveled with us throughout Europe. And somewhere within, he must have had the inspiration over a period of time to create, as he calls, modern spirituality, contemporary. His love for music, his love for sound led him to create that which everyone experiences through synchronicities today. As we realize, as we become aware that Master Charles belonged to the tradition of Baba Muktananda, with him he brought that lineage, that grace, that energy. So when we think of it, he belonged to this Shaktipat, grace-bestowing tradition. And in his own mind, as a Westerner, as somebody from the United States, he pondered over how those teachings, how that experience could be brought into the modern society. And so he found this method, this way to get people to meditate. And as you know, his line was, you don't need to spend years in a cave, you could get it in a moment. And of course, I think all of us love that if I can get it in the moment, but still we have to put our headphones on, and meditate. And here we are, almost 2019, 2020, and 2021, so almost 2.75 of a year later, or years later, after he left his physical form to be here in this space. And I must congratulate Mark, Mukti, and everyone else who has put forth the effort to keep this going. And I think it is our duty, our responsibility, because a being comes along, he starts something, and of course, as is the cycle of life, we are born, we die, so that being leaves his body. But those seeds of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding, of grace have been planted in each one of us who are touched by such a being. So through practice, sadhana as we call it in our tradition, we nurture that seed, we grow it into a tree, the tree has fruits, and then the fruits have more seeds. I often think of a story when someone asks, what is it that the Guru does? So the answer is the Guru gives you a fruit. You cut open the fruit has a seed. So just like the Guru received his seed from his master, then he passes on that fruit with a seed to his devotees, to his disciples. And our duty is then to plant that seed or seeds in as many fertile human beings that we find around the world. So as I heard everybody share and speak last night of their time with Master Charles, I sort of felt like I was Uddhava in the story of Krishna and the gopis. Uddhava hangs out with Krishna, and Krishna tells Uddhava to go and teach the gopis meditation. So Uddhava arrives, he observes them, he watches them, then he gathers them like we are here gathered now. And Uddhava tries to give them the techniques of meditation, of focus, of going inside. The gopis at the end tell him, Uddhava, you are trying to tell us to see that one Krishna, the one divinity inside. But we see that divinity everywhere. We see it in each other, we see it in the trees, we see it in our animals, we see it in our family. So what do we do? So as Uddhava pondered over this, he realized that he had come there to learn from these gopis, to understand from these gopis, that Krishna had sent him there. So last night as I sat on my bed and thought about today, and I thought, to hear each and every one of you who has been with Master Charles for Mukti from the 70s, and then the 80s and 90s, and so on and so forth. Having been on this path from the womb of my mother, because she and my father were devotees of Muktananda, I feel that we are seekers not only from this lifetime, but we've been on this path. And therefore, when we hear the sound, when we hear the mantra, when we hear the words that we need to hear, that awakening once again in this lifetime takes place, and it brings us to this kind of a space. So here we are, 20, 30, 40 years later, enjoying being together, appreciating the experience of meditation. Baba Muktananda's stress was upon meditation, and therefore he called it a meditation revolution. His idea was that each day, every individual should take time from what I think a minimum of 15 minutes to 30 to 60 to just sit. So I tell people, find a chair like this that's comfortable to you. A chair you can just sit on every day, or the floor as you wish. Baba Muktananda also stressed that wear the same clothes for meditation so that that energy gathers. Don't wash them too often. Have an asana, a cushion that you just use for meditation. So you develop those vibrations in that space. Just like this is a meditation room, which has been here for almost 35 plus years. And I remember when it was just a small solitary space, and now it's grown into what it is. And so many different people over the years have come and gone and have been touched by that energy. So what we want to do during this week is reconnect even more solidly to that grace, to that energy in our lives. And for those who live here, that's wonderful. You can connect to that all the time. For those who go back home, we want to take that energy and that connection with us. Each day, every day, reconnect to that energy. That's the energy of consciousness, the energy of the self. Baba Muktananda would simply ask us, think to yourself and ask, I went to sleep. In the sleep, I had a dream. I woke up from the dream. When I woke up from the dream, someone tells me I had a dream. I was sleeping. In my sleep, I had a dream. So who was awake within me that observed that I had a dream? So you would say, ponder over this and ask yourself, if I claim or if I think I am sleeping, I had a dream. If I'm sleeping, I had a dream. Who was it that remembers when I woke up, I had a dream? Who is that I? What is that remembers? So in the whole scriptural thought, the self, the consciousness is always awake, is always aware, always witnessing, always observing. So therefore, the Master teaches us, I am not this body. Master Charles often called it the silly body. The silly body. So we have it. It is our medium. It is our way. It is our method to connect to that consciousness. So each day, every day as you sit, bring yourself to that space of stillness. And in the few times that I visited here, visited Master Charles, I always felt that his thrust was to get everybody to meditate. That's what he learned from Baba Muktananda, was get everybody to meditate. So he will get you to put your headphones on, he'll show you mandalas, he'll show you lights, he'll give you smells. getting the senses, getting the mind to that place of consciousness. So ask yourself, who is it that remembers? The Kena Upanishad says that which is not thought of by the mind. Yan manasa na manate. Yenahu manomata. But that because of which the mind has the ability to think. Tadeva tvam brahmavitti. Know that to be the Brahman, not the self or the absolute. That which cannot be thought of by the mind, but by which the mind thinks. So really when we think, what am I doing? As I sit, I'm actually becoming quiet. I'm actually becoming still. So to me, when I think of as a meditator, where is it that I want to arrive at? I love the Sutra of Patanjali, which says, Sukham, Stiram Sukham Asanam. Stira, become steady. Become established. Become firm. So in all of your years of sitting and meditating, what you want to bring to your own life, first of all, is a stillness, is a steadiness. So no matter what happens in life, we are not shaken. We just remain firmly established. And come to a place of what the scriptures call sukha. And the way I translate that is comfortable with yourself. Sukha is comfortable with yourself. So basically, the message of Baba Muktananda, meditate on yourself, honor yourself, worship yourself, respect yourself. God dwells within you as you. That is to me the experience of sukha. Or in contemporary terms, the Swami Chinmayananda says, enjoy your own company. Enjoy your own company. If you don't enjoy your own company, why inflict it upon others? The same message, be comfortable with yourself. So love yourself, respect yourself, honor yourself, enjoy yourself. And when you come to that place, when we think in any tradition all over the world, the master is revered, the master is loved, the master is honored. I mean, think, here we are today. In a few months, it will be 3 years since Master Charles left his body, his physical form. Of course, we all believe energetically the master continues to live with us, amongst us. Yet, here we are together in this space that he created. Remember him, thinking of him. But what do we remember? We remember the experience. We remember the grace. We remember the blessings. We remember the presence. What is that experience? What is that grace? What is that presence? That same presence is alive in my life, in our life. Just this Tuesday, Wednesday, we celebrated the 39th year of the passing of Baba Muktananda on the full moon in the month of October. All over the world, different people gathered in different places to chant, to meditate, to maybe sing the Guru Gita, to sing the mantra, whatever it is that they love from the practice of what Baba Muktananda gave. And I continue to remain amazed at this wondrous thought that a master lives He sows the seeds in an individual. Master leaves his physical form, and here we are, years later, continuing that. When I begin to think, when the Master himself, herself realizes that they are simply a part of a continuing tradition, a continuing legacy, a river that's flowing of knowledge, of wisdom, and they simply happen to be somewhere along the river, sharing that wisdom, sharing that knowledge. It is not my knowledge, it is not anyone's knowledge, but it is the knowledge that our scriptures call Sat, truth. That which was, that which is, and that which will be. Sat, truth, that which was, that which is, that which will be. So in continuing that truth, which a sage brings forth, and we think to ourselves, what can I do? What is my offering? What is my purpose? Somewhere I read, you think about your eulogy and you think about your resume. Resume is something we write up about ourselves, who I think I am. And eulogy is something that somebody writes about us. So we could, as seekers, begin to think, what is it that I would like to be said about me when I leave this physical form? What is it that I would like people to remember? Nobody will remember actually the physical things that we may have collected, accumulated, created, but we will be remembered by the hearts that we have touched, by the greater change we have brought about in society. So when I ponder myself of what to do with this gift of Baba Muktananda, as Devyani said, Baba Muktananda had a book, Where Are You Going? And he begins that book by talking about the religion of the self, the religion of the Atma, the religion of consciousness. Because to him, he gave an intensive which was called Atmad Adhikam Kimasti Tattva. What is greater than the self? Is there anything that is greater than the self? The self is that consciousness, that divinity that dwells within each and every one of us. Inanimate, animate, whether the thing is dense, jad, or the thing is conscious, Chaitanya. He loved telling a story from the Upanishads of a sage, Yagyavalkya, who had an elderly wife, his age, Katyayani, and then a younger one who married him, Maitreyi. So Yagyavalkya comes to a point in his life where he now wants to leave everything and go into the forest. So he wants to divide his physical wealth amongst his two wives. And Maitreyi asks him, what are you doing? He said, I'm dividing my physical wealth because I want to go and just be in the forest and contemplate. So Maitreyi says, what is it that you're going to do in the forest? He said, I'm going to use my time to just meditate, become established in the self. So Maitreyi says to him, O sage Yagyavalkya, I am young. I married you not for this physical stuff. I married you for that knowledge, for that experience of the self. All this wealth, you can just give it to Katyayani. Let her have it. I will come with you into the forest. I'll serve you, take care of you, because I want that experience. Say Yajnavalkya tries to dissuade her from this thought process, but she will not budge. And she says, I am coming with you. So there, Sage Yajnavalkya gives her the teaching, Navade sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. O Maitreyi, we do not love each other for the sake of each other, but we love each other for the sake of self. We love each other for the sake of that consciousness. So when I think of this teaching, I tell people, I said, here we are today. I mean, we even take Master Charles, we take Baba Muktananda, whoever it is that we love as an example. We love them then, we love them now. But really, when we think of what did we do with their physical form, with their physical body, we disposed of it in the right manner, in the correct manner. So then we have to ask ourselves, then what is it that I love? Who is it that I love? What is it that I love? Then we'll remember what Sage Yajnavalkya says, Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. We love each other because of the existence of that consciousness. When that consciousness left the body, we no longer have the physical form, but we continue to love that consciousness in each and everyone. So Yajnavalkya says, Atmavare drashtavyo shruttavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavyo Maitreyi. O Maitreyi, if there is anything that you want to hear about, we love to hear things. So he says, hear about the self, about the other. We love to look at things. Yajnavalkya says, look at the self, look at consciousness. So Baba Muktananda would say there is nothing more beautiful than consciousness. Get yourself to that place where you are just experiencing shimmering consciousness. And I love this thought when I think of it. To bring my mind to that place where I see shimmering consciousness. And just like I would like to say that I think of Master Charles when he does this. For those of you who remember him, he would just, when you go, And I would just watch him when he would do this, and I'd think, is he experiencing the self? Is he experiencing that shimmering consciousness? Because he would pause for a moment, and there'll be no words, nothing said, just that. So Yajnavalkya tells this to his wife. Listen about the self. See the self. Think about the self. Because everything else in life is transitory. It's here now, gone in the next moment. This moment keeps changing, keeps moving. So Maitreyi, if you want to meditate upon something, meditate upon the self. So when you really think to yourself and ask yourself, what is it that we do when we listen to that sound through the headphones? Where is it that we want to go? We want to come, we want to arrive at this place of consciousness. That's consciousness simply acknowledging. Yes. And I love it when such things happen, because we often look for miracles, we look for coincidences, we look for, whatever we think is like, wow. But what I've come to realize over time is such magical, amazing things are constantly happening in our life. When I am connected to that space of the self of consciousness, when I am reveling in that experience, then because I'm connected to that consciousness, and consciousness is everywhere, then that very consciousness is simply managing and taking care of everything. So when we think of the word surrender, we think of surrender actually to an individual, to a person, to a thing. But in my experience, surrender is to that divine consciousness. Surrender is to not some external possession or thing, but it's an internal experience within myself. It's like the chiropractor at the table telling us, let go, relax. And when we let go and relax, the chiropractor manipulates the body. So in the same way, when we come to be in the presence, when we sit in the presence of that energy, just surrender, just let go. That consciousness dwells within each and every one of us. What stops me from that experience is my mind. The mind with its millions or billions or zillions of thoughts, and all at the same time. Of course, when we come into a space like this, where the only vibration is of consciousness, it's easy to become still and quiet. It's easy to get into that space of just being. We want to take this with us. We want to carry this with us wherever we go. This connection to consciousness, to self, the stillness. So when I think, what is it that Baba Muktananda gave to each and every one of us who came and sat in his presence? Yes, all of the knowledge and the information and all of that. But truthfully, he gave each one of us an experience of that divine self that dwells within. And he would often say this, I am not going to give you anything new. I am simply going to show you that which exists within you. That is the self. So may we all, in our everyday life, as we sit to meditate, as we become still, as we become quiet, as we come to a place of in our own life, feel that love, feel that respect, feel the honor. Because God dwells within you as you. The Vedic mantras, Tattvamasi, Tvam Tadasi, Ayam Atma Brahma, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, all of this simply remind us and repeat the same message. You are that you are. The self is nothing other than that. All of this, the entire universe is that. So bring your mind into that space. Consciousness. So at the end of the retreat, when you think to yourself, what is it that I want to be left with? What is the one thought? Consciousness. That is what we want. If we take home with us our own direct experience of consciousness, quiet the mind, still the mind, feel the grace, feel the presence. Think of the 50 plus years that Master Charles put into his own practice, into his own sadhana. And then that which he shared with us. Think of Baba Muktananda before him, who also did the same. Think of Bhagwan Nityananda before him. And all of the various sages from all around the world. When we take away the so-called differences, what did each master, no matter what the tradition was, they talked about, they shared with us the experience of consciousness. Baba Muktananda shared this through a very simple story. He said 3 friends speaking 3 different languages from 3 different countries one day were traveling together. And they just had, we could say, $5 between all of them. Each one of them was hungry. Each one of them wanted something. And they thought, how can we get what all 3 of us want? So a wise person who spoke all 3 languages walks by and he says, give me the money, I'll get you what all 3 of you want. So he goes to the store, he buys, he comes back. And what is it? Grapes. All 3 of them wanted grapes. But because they spoke in 3 different languages, they thought they wanted 3 different things. Yet they all wanted the one thing, grapes. And because the person spoke the language and understood what they wanted, with that amount of money, he could buy what all 3 of them wanted. So Baba Muktananda would stress that we all, no matter where we are from, no matter what language, what culture, what nationality, what tradition, we want the same thing, the experience of the self, the experience of consciousness, the experience of truth. But we get caught in our language. We get caught in our verbiage. We get caught in what we think I want without realizing that each one of us wants the same thing. So in his book, Where Are You Going? He makes us ask ourselves this question. Where are you going? What are you doing? What is your destination? What is your goal? And so each one of us must come to the realization, must understand, I am seeking the experience of the self. So the Guru, the Master, sows that seed of understanding through sadhana, through practice, we arrive at that space in our own being. And for those of us who've had those moments of oneness, of connection to that self, of that divinity, the awareness of that truth in our life, think of that moment or moments. Think of what it feels like, how wonderful it is, how satisfying, what contentment. I mean, all that which we think we want in life, we feel fulfilled in that space, we feel complete in that space, we feel whole in that space. And if we are here today, after so many years and so many times and again and again and again, I would say that we are unknown to ourselves here because we love that experience. Nobody twisted our arms to get us here. We were just told, come, and we all agreed, yes, I'm coming. And what we have come for is the experience of the self. Going beyond all of the external trappings, when we just take a deep breath, expand our awareness, open our minds, feel the smile on your own face. Feel the joy bubbling from within yourself. Feel how exhilarated, joyous your whole body is. And my prayer and wish is that as we go about our daily life, we take this, we carry this with us. In the universal prayer, we have a verse we sing, Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, Sarve santu niramayaha, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavi. May all beings be content at all times. May all beings be content at all times. May there be no sickness. May there be no suffering. May we always see auspicious sights. Meaning our mind, our understanding should come to such a place that we only see positivity, we only see auspiciousness. And may no one suffer. And I would like to say that we become such that we don't create suffering for anyone, including ourselves. So therefore, let us come to that place where we are comfortable with ourselves. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Take care of this physical form, the vehicle, the medium, so there is no sickness. The eye of the mind, through which we actually experience this universe, may it be so filled with knowledge of consciousness that that's all it sees everywhere is simmering consciousness. And because we have become comfortable, because we are at peace, we are steady, we are still, we are not suffering, will make sure that no one else is suffering. When you think of the One World Alliance that Master Charles thought of, the idea, how we could dissolve all of the separation, the duality, dissolve all of that. And if we could all simply realize there is nothing but that one consciousness. There is nothing but that one consciousness. So we'll turn the lights down. We'll just become comfortable in our own being. If you wear glasses, you can take them off, put them in your pocket, and just allow your entire body to become completely relaxed. We come to a place where you are totally at ease. Take a look from head, face, ears, neck, chest, arms, stomach, waist, thigh, knees, legs, feet, toes, fingers. Let all of this just be completely relaxed. I know you're already relaxed, but relax more. Just let go. Just open yourself to that consciousness, to that divinity, to that truth that dwells within each and every one of us. Many of you have heard Master Charles sing the mantra Om Namah Shivaya. He had his own way, his own extremely slow. We sing it in the way that we learned from Baba Muktananda. Om is a primordial sound that exists in the universe. The Upanishads tell us that when you become totally and completely quiet, you'll hear the sound Om reverberating in everything. Om reverberating in everything. Namaha, I offer salutations. I offer salutations to that Shiva, that all-pervading consciousness. So we allow that humility, that surrender, letting go, all of this to take place as we sing Om Namah Shivaya. Just breathing in and breathing out. As you breathe in, Allow yourself to expand as you breathe out. Let go. As you breathe in, expand. As you breathe out, let go. So we'll take a few moments. We'll chant the mantra Om Namah Shivaya in call and response. I'll sing first. You respond. Just bring yourself as you sing, as you listen, to a place of complete stillness, of quiet. We'll sing for a few moments and then we'll just sit in complete silence, in complete stillness, and just feel the reverberation of that energy of consciousness. Think of what Baba Muktananda said. See that shimmering, that scintillating consciousness. Allow yourself to feel the joy that is inside of your own being. Love yourself, honor yourself, respect yourself, worship yourself. Meditate on yourself. God dwells within you as you. God dwells within you as you. That consciousness is there right now, right here, right in this moment. So we'll sing the mantra, call and response. Invite you all to just sing along with us. When we stop, just completely become absorbed in the stillness, the quiet. Namah Bring yourself back into the space. Expanding the awareness as you breathe in, letting go as you breathe out. Remaining in this space of quiet, of stillness, allowing yourself to remain open, just as you breathe in, as you breathe out, as you inhale, as you exhale, allowing the awareness to expand, letting go. We bring our hands in front of our chests, offering salutations. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Nath Maharaj ki